I will really appreciate if you guys will subscribe my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, I am Purushottam, and today we are going to talk about what are the pros and the cons of living in Poland, or after moving Poland you feel what are the pros, what are the cons. I will give you all this through my perspective. So let's dive into the video and let's get started. And guys, you get to cycle like this in Poland at the same time. So these are the things that I think sets apart, It's November, it's cold, but at the same time you are in the nature and you can have this nature in Poland. Trust me, even nearby big cities. So embrace this. These are the pros, in little things also. So don't get disheartened about the bureaucracy, because it has to be like this just so that they can control let's say who's coming and who's going out, just to keep the country safe. And I really like the minister. I think Dominic is the name of the guy. He actually speaks facts, and I really like him. Let's go. So let's discuss with the pros. The pros is the beautiful country of Poland has amazing greenery, first of all, because I'm in the nature and I have to embrace that. You can see behind me. At the same time, when you come to Poland, especially you are from third nationalities, let's say non-EU country people, if you are from there, then you get to travel a lot, let's say inside European Union, and that has like more than 26 countries where you can go visa free. So when you are here, you get this opportunity, and this is the biggest advantage that I would say. You get to travel more, let's say, by covering less area, because Europe is not huge, but at the same time it's amazing. But yeah, you need a lot of time to cover everything. It's not that small, it's still bigger than you can imagine it as smaller. In my first year, I came here as a student, all right? So let's get into my story. So I came here as a student and I stayed here for almost 2 years so far, and I finished my studies. I did masters. Talking about my program, it was actually masters in journalism, and I did in Wrocław University. Some people might say it Wrocław, but it is actually Wrocław where I did it. And after living here for quite long enough, I can guide you enough about what I feel as pros and what I feel as cons. So this is why I think I can be the guy who can at least give something to you guys who, let's say, doing some research about Poland, right? So I'm not sure all my perspective will be totally dependent on my experiences, but I can say today it's cold and I'm trying to do my best for you all guys who are thinking to come here someday. So we were on the pros, right? So apart from the travel pros that you get, let's say for myself, I've been to all the Scandinavian countries in my first year when I was here as a student. And trust me guys, traveling in Europe can be very expensive, but for me it was not that expensive. Reason being, I used couchsurfing. I don't know if you know about it, but I can put the link in the description and you can actually check this out, this website. It's like a Facebook. You request to people in the big cities that you would like to stay with them, and if they accept, you stay with them. So in Europe I traveled everywhere almost without booking a place, or sometimes it was my friend and I stayed with them. That's how I saved a lot on accommodation, and I traveled across Europe a lot. Not a lot, to be very honest, because I just did the Scandinavian countries. Apart from that, some part of the let's say the central or the Western European countries I haven't done, like Italy I haven't been, France I haven't been, and then you can say that I haven't seen the Europe as whole, right? But still I feel that I traveled enough in my first year. Some people just go one country or two country and they stay focused to work life. So because you are coming to Poland and you will be traveling inside Poland at least, so inside Poland also I've been to some cities, and I think Warsaw is the capital and it's the huge city where you can also move just for the more opportunities, diversity, and you will feel more people speaking English there. But in rest of the Polish, let's say big cities, you can also find English speakers. But in the small towns, probably you will find less. But at the same time, young generation, they know it very well. You can always try with the younger generation to ask for some help. But from the elderlies in the small towns, expect they will speak Polish. But this is also very good thing that will motivate you to learn Polish. And if you are learning Polish, it will be good for your long-term residency if you might apply someday. And I myself, I never stopped learning Polish technically, either by YouTube or taking some online classes, by paying actually. So I take some classes, and I'm trying to stay connected to Polish language, to stay up to date or at least grow my vocabulary in Polish, and my grammatical errors, I have to reduce them as well. So if you learn a language, it's a pro for you. But if you don't, it's not a big loss, but at the same time you have less opportunities compared to people who speak Polish, because they require Polish often for job in various sectors. Let's say not in IT, but not even in banking. If the company is from abroad, not from Poland, then you can find jobs. Currently, I'm doing a job, full-time role, and there it's a multinational company, so we don't require Polish at all. But yeah, because it's in the territory of Poland, so more Polish people work there. So if you want to hang out with them, you have to connect with them more. Try to learn a little bit of Polish. They will be happy and they will connect with you more. So you can do this. And let's discuss about the cons. I've discussed the pros, let's say, and talking about the food and the culture here. I love it. Like, not every food you will like, but most of the food that is without meat, I've tried. Even with meat, I've tried. But I would say that it's really nice. It's really delicious. Only rare times you will not like. But pierogis are the very famous in Poland. They call it pierogi ruski, and I love it. I love it, seriously. Let's move on to cones, right? But for the cones, let's go in some other location. I have to ride my cycle a bit. So let's go ahead and we will talk there. So guys, talking about the cones, the biggest cone of coming to Poland will be for you to face the bureaucracy here. Again, if you're a third national, but third national, whenever I say third national, what I mean by that is if you're not from the European Union. If you're from a European Union, you are like second nationals, right? First nationals will be Polish, second will be them, and the third nationals will be anybody who is coming outside of European Union, all right, or the Schengen zone. So for those people, bureaucracy will always be tougher for you guys, and sometimes for students, because I applied my TRC, student TRC, it took me almost a year. I applied in June 2022, let's say, and I got this in 2023 June itself, right? So straight 1 year, even though the decision I had was of April, but I got it in June. So from applying and from looking from the date, it if I add that, it even takes more, it's like 1.5 years almost, because 3 months I waited to get a date to submit my documents there. And when you submit the document, from that day it starts. But let's say sometimes they even do faster for very few students. Some get lucky and they get it just in a month, but for me it was not the case. I was, as usual, average candidate for them probably. And that's why let's say if you are thinking to come here as a student and you're thinking that you will get their temporary residence card of Poland very easily, it might be not the case. It happens for rare students, and now I applied as a worker, but it's been, let's say, I applied in September and it's November almost. I have nothing. I just got the date, of course, in October, just in 2 months, luckily this time. And now I'm waiting for the decision. Probably it will come in January, December, or I don't know. We will see. I will update you. You can stay tuned to my channel and subscribe so that you know my story, what's going around in my life. And at the same time, I will say this, that when you apply as a worker, it is faster, they say. So we will see how faster I get the decision. In this long wait, you can skip, let's say, sometimes some good program happening in your family back in your country. If someone, let's say, dies, you have to go back to the country, get a visa, and sometimes it is not possible to get the visa faster when you go there back. And just because of this, when people apply here TRC, it's very pathetic that sometimes you have to stay here for a year without traveling back home, and you miss happy days, good days, everything like that, and you are not with your family all the time. This puts you in a pressure as well, and it tests your ability mentally. And I just hope that in future these things get better, at least for the students. Especially there are so many students who come here to really study, to travel, to make experiences, but the people from the third nationals, they get treated as if you people are lowest on the priority, and just because of that you miss Erasmus opportunities. These are the pains that, let's say, we have as international students, and many even go, it is still possible. But let's say I had a master's course for 2 years, let's say, and on the second year, the first semester, I wanted to go actually for my Erasmus, but at the same time I applied the TRC here, and you don't get it faster, and you cannot travel to other European country to study for something, right? Just because you haven't got the TRC here, and you cannot move somewhere else now. So if people have such cases, I think they deserve to get the TRC faster on some exceptional grounds. But they see everything as a move from these people to other European countries, and they might not come back, so they don't give the permission somehow. I think the bureaucracy works like this. I'm not sure, but I'm just telling you the facts, that you have to be prepared that you will not have a lot of freedom as a third national in Europe, but at the same time you will have the opportunity to experience whatever is happening around you, because other European nationals come here for Erasmus and you will meet them. So you will have a diversity in a way, but the real diversity happens when you unlock all the freedom for all the students who come to Poland, either as third national or students should be considered as equal. If you are not equal, then probably some others are getting more exposure and you are getting lesser. But I know you people are strong, and your people are mentally very brave. You have to be emotionally very intelligent, when you are moving abroad and you are staying away from the family, and you have to go through everything individually by yourself. So brace yourself if you are planning to come here. And the life is great here generally, because you have everything if you keep order in your life. If you come as a student, I suggest do part-time job. Do not drain yourself and skip classes and take hurdles on your courses, and you fail, so it will be a disaster for you. Sometimes it happens, and you should keep a pace, let's say, in both the things. Let's say work, part-time work, at the same time studies. So you can actually have a call with me if you are set to move to Poland, and I can consult you some things. And maybe anybody who wants consultation even before moving to Poland as a worker or as a student, just reach out to me via a link in the description. There is a one-to-one call option, either via audio call on Instagram or one-to-one call via Google Meet, and we can talk a lot. So this will be my call to action. If you guys want to invest in yourself even a little, just do it, and let's have a call, and let's guide you a bit. It's totally up to you if you want, and I think the charges are minimal. But anyway, these were the cons that at the end I said. But the pros are also very good, especially when you come in the beginning years. But later, you have to go through also some hard times where you do not get the freedom of travel. But in the beginning, you almost get a 1 year visa and you can travel a lot. So, as a student, whoever is coming, please mind this, that in the beginning, you have to manage to travel a bit more, because later you won't be traveling a lot. But again, after waiting a bit, you can travel a lot. It's just like while you wait for the card, you cannot travel, but after getting the card, you can travel as much as you want. You get the freedom back. So everything is a game of this card. Whenever you move to certain countries on the west of the world, as they say, because of the higher salaries, better living standards. But the medical, I will say this, that back home in my country, the medical is much better compared to here, because you have to wait a lot. And look at this winter, guys. I'm wearing gloves and everything. It's not snowing yet, it's November, but still it is cold. So I have to be prepared for winters. This is why I'm wearing all these things, to cover up myself, and I'm cycling in this cold. Can you imagine? But staying outside will be much better option than staying cozy and getting sick very easily later, right? So you have to live an active life as well. Doesn't matter how cold it gets. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. I gave some perspective, and maybe it was all from my experience. If I have some perspective that you didn't like, you can of course write in the comments, and I will try to clarify. And this was it. So peace out. See you in the next one.